You had some nice work in it.
I'm gonna need that.
Very
If
cool.
you can sign that.
Yeah, we're gonna take it. What does it say about this?
It says awesomeness.
Yeah, that's all it says.
Yeah.
It's the least descriptive
Those are pictures
article
we know
about.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I love how 3 of these are obviously show photos.
Yeah, and then Kyle's yeah.
Yeah.
They just caught him outside of Ralph's.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey, huh?
So now that you guys have done multiple seasons, what's one of the most important thing that you've learned as writers that's maybe streamlined about your process? That you have a lot of scripts behind you now, something that maybe you didn't know in the beginning that's smoother now.
I think for me, it's not any one thing. It's just the process is easier now. I mean, before we didn't know anything about writing TV when we started. Durst did a little bit. He wrote some specs, but we didn't know anything. So we were like, outline, very cool. You know, what if we just improv it? And they're like, no, you got to type things. And so I think just the whole process has gotten a lot easier. That being said, though, we're 40 episodes deep now, so it's kind of like, oh, we should do an episode where like there's a ghost that's haunting the office. I'm like, no, we kind of did something like that. Or like, so we're running into that a little bit.
Yeah.
We're still
I think
finding spots to bring the weirdness out.
a good tip as well is just to get as much done before we start filming. Just because once we get on set and stuff, we don't have as much time in the writer's room.
How many episodes would you usually have before you start filming?
Well, we're doing 13 this time, when normally we would do 10. And so normally we would get about 7 or 8, and then have the stories broke for the other 2, and then try to write them as we're shooting, which is a nightmare because you work 12 hours shooting the show and then put in another like 6 afterwards, and then show up the next day with just sunken in eyeballs, and they're like, oh, you look 48 years old. You're supposed to be 25. So yeah, I totally forgot what I was saying. I smoked too much weed.
You know, it's like you're having so much fun watching the episodes. How many takes does it usually take to get the one? Because I mean, you guys have to crack up sometimes.
All one take. It's a it's a play. We're gonna do a live show. It'll just be a nightmare. Oh, that new take. We write our scripts, but then we also like to improv a lot, so we'll write it and then do 2 or 3 to make sure we get it, how it's written, and have it loose, and then do a few more to try to get weird and different, and try to find something in the moment instead of, because sometimes you'll write a joke and you'll write it, and then when we go to shoot it 3 months later, we're like, this is a horrible joke, or it's like a reference that you're like, no one wants to hear a George Zimmerman bit right now, you know? Right now that'd be hot, but 4 months from now.
The other thing is we only have 4 days to pretty much, every episode we shoot is like, we get 4 days pretty much, so at the same time we do kind of have to keep moving along, so we can't just spend a day on one scene getting it right, so you have to sort of bring your A game. The answer's 5, we get 5 takes.
Have you had any episode ideas come up from some of the improvisation you might be doing on some of the takes? Like, this would be a good episode.
I don't know if anything
Maybe like
that
a
is-
runner or something, but like a whole like episode based off our improv.
Oh, yeah, I mean, in the room, 100% when we're writing, we'll just be talking, and like somebody will just tell like an off-the-cuff story, and you're like, that could be,
Something.
that's a kernel of an idea. So yeah, sometimes, but a lot of times we'll find a lot of those runners or the like sort of jargon that we use on the show. It's just something that we'll say in an improv, and they're like, oh no, that's what we're calling porno now, we're calling it porno.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, totally. And then Comedy Central gets in and adds hashtags and ruins it for us. Yeah. We're like, oh, we're never going to see that again.
Did you guys have some of this vocabulary beforehand?
Yeah, totally. We're not like sitting in the room being like,
What's the next
we've
t-shirt?
gotta have we need more t-shirt ideas. So yeah, I mean, we're like best friends, so you know how like you have like a shorthand with your best friends that when the
No.
outside worlds you don't have.
No, I don't have friends.
I have no friends. Yeah.
Exactly.
You have a shorthand with them, and then we're able to take that and put it on TV.
Besides Type Butthole, I think that was like a decision that we made where we're like, let's see if we can get kids to say
Yeah.
and it worked.
Yes, it did. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. From my sons to
It
you.
yelled at us everywhere. It was a great idea.
That was the one thing that my dad like really likes the show and he's very supportive, but he's like, love the show, but I don't know about that tight butthole shit. Can you just say tight butthole shit?
That's good.
That's good. We'll use that.
You guys seem to be pretty much up for anything on the show, but is there anything that you've had to do or say that's actually embarrassed you?
Nah, I mean, I think it's a good skill set to have as a comedian. It's just not to be embarrassed. I will say in one episode, I'm trying to hands-free ejaculate by not touching myself and just concentrating super hard. And it was when we watched the dailies back of that, I was like, oh, what am I doing? I don't need this. Pitch Perfect 2 is coming out. I'm jumping ship. I'm a song and dance man now. Yeah, but when we watch the dailies back of that, and it's just me like, and then Kyle's cutting. I'm like, was that good? Am I? You see my vein? Yeah, does it seem like I could have?
You guys are really good at pushing boundaries. Is there anything that you tried to do that was just too much and you were shut down and you weren't able to do it either in script form or something that you shot? And if so, what was it?
There was only one thing, and then they actually let us do it the next season. The season 2, we came up with this idea that the guys like are super patriotic and they don't like people burning the American flag. And so they want to make an unburnable American flag. And so in the R&D process, they have to burn like 50 American flags in order to get the unburnable American flag. And at first Comedy Central was like, no fucking way, we're not going to have you burn. And I'm like, but that's the most patriotic thing, is we're trying to make an unburnable American flag. And then they were just like, yeah, fuck it, just do it.
So out of
you guys
all
are
your-
out of ideas, right? Just do it.
Out of all your notes, that's the only thing that they question? Out of like the
Yeah.
only big note?
Yeah, really.
Good, man.
So they let Tight Butthole go.
Yeah.
Unburnable Flag, not so much.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you don't mess with America.
So where you guys at with the movie that you're working on?
We're working on the next draft of the script right now, and it's close. We're really excited about it. Yeah, we got Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg and Scott Rudin attached to produce with us, and it's a big action comedy, and it stars the 3 of us. It's not Workaholics, but it's basically Workaholics.
Is there a particular inspiration for it?
I mean, it's like action comedy, action movies, really. Like, we love Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, and we were like, we want to see a funny-ass Die Hard. Was kind of where we started from. And then stole all the bits from Die Hard to put them in our movie.
And added crazy hair.
Added some hair. Yeah, and some chin fat, and there we go, there's our movie.
Speaking of hair, Blake, have you started selling box for your hair yet?
I have not. I don't part with my hair.
Even if the ladies ask for it?
No, that's the last person you want to give your hair.
Right?
I wonder how
give a
long
woman
you
your
can
hair.
do it. If you like cut underneath,
Yeah,
like
just
how
kind of hide
long?
it.
Yeah, how long you could go with giving tendrils away?
Yeah, maybe we can get a couple into that.
Yeah. Are you asking for hair? Is that
No, I
what
don't. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'll trade you hair for beard.
Okay, we can do that, yeah.
Yeah, we'll like tie it into each other. Then. No, they tried, but
I think that was like they added that in contracts that Blake cannot cut his hair.
yeah, I think I'm not allowed to.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just do it to say,
To be punk
"Fuck
rock.
the man."
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
sure.
And well, we have an unburnable.
You guys are like, to whatever extent there is a straight man on the show, it stirs a little bit, and then you guys, but it's not like there's like a Kramer on the show. I mean, how do you guys do? Is somebody the character that you guys push the most over the top, or is it a competition to see who can go the
I mean, it's none of those things. I think it's we've sort of made these within each story. Like one character, Blake is more immature, so Blake will do something that's more childish than there's myself. I'm like, if we're going that direction, I'll be the one to like be like, no, I can do it the best. I'm so strong, and then I'll throw my back out or rip my shoulders.
Yeah, I think like with the episodes, like you kind of can choose like if it's that character's journey, they can get very passionate about what they believe in. Yeah, we try to stay kind of equally dumb, but probably Adam is the dumbest.
Yeah, I'm definitely the dumbest. Our scripts are basically just mad libs. We just sort of just.
They said that they love writing your voice the best. What characters do you guys like writing?
Carl's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think definitely Carl.
Because we were just talking about how he's kind of our Kramer, because anytime there's any sort of like real problem, or we're like, how are we gonna like, find somebody that like runs a go-kart place, and we're like, you could believe that Carl like has a day job where he runs a go-kart facility, or is like a mechanic, or it's easy to buy that. So he's my favorite to write.
That was probably, I think it was last season, but in one of the punch-ups, I remember Carl comes to like see Durs, and he's like, hey, you didn't give him my Kickstarter, man. And it's like, what was it for? He's like, I just want to buy hella Funyuns.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's cool. This guy has a Kickstarter just to buy Funyuns.
Oh yeah, well it was like, oh cool, you're like investing in like the Frito-Lay Corporation. He's like, no, I just want to buy Funyuns.
Yeah.
Onions are delicious. Don't sleep on Funyuns.
They are delicious.
Yeah,
Clearly.
they're a sleeper. They're no Cool Ranch Doritos. Everybody goes there, but
no. Is it weird knowing that you got your own little flash drive of you in the bear outfit here, like the limited edition thing?
It's actually pretty cool. It's like pretty well made. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it's weird. We're gonna have like bobbleheads.
Not.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a little magnet set, and you can like take our clothes off and stuff. We look good on
Yeah, no, they really did me well. I'm like, I'm way lumpier than that.
Yeah, they really it was flattering.
Yeah.
Is there anything you couldn't afford to shoot? Something like something you dreamed up that was too expensive that you just couldn't do in an episode?
I mean, every episode we're battling with that, because we want to like do what we're trying to do with our movie, which is a big action, and we want the show like we're up for an Emmy.
Right on.
Yes.
For best stunt stuff, so like we really want every episode to have cool stunts, or like a car chase, or like jump out of a moving vehicle, and so we really try to do that stuff, but
Yeah.
it gets really expensive.
We
We're
had
like,
it in the
that's
budget.
not that funny. That's just cool. Like it's just Comedy Central.
If we had the budget, we would have blown up the bow probably like 10 times.
Yeah. Every week we just keep getting
I
it
feel
back.
like we're always like, let's blow up the bow. And they're like, no.
No, you cannot. No explosions.
What's your favorite premise for an episode of the new season?
There's a bunch.
Yeah, there's
Yeah. My favorite one we can't talk about because it'll blow the whole episode.
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, there's a cool one where kind of like a frat guy kind of takes us under his wing and enjoy the frat life.
Yeah, we try to live the
There's
frat life.
a dark side to it.
Yeah,
That one's pretty fun. Hopefully we'll get a really good one.
the title of it is Psych Bro Path.
Does your movie have a title?
Not yet, no. Sure.
What are you guys most impressed about?
That they're still allowing us to make it.
Yeah.
Season 1, we shot it in the house that we used to live in together, and season 1 we didn't move out. We stayed there while we shot the first season because we were like, it's gonna get canceled and we're gonna have our rent paid for a year. We can save up money, and then they gave us another season, and we're like, suckers.
Take the money and run.
So we still feel that way. And we have such a great time doing it, so we hope to
Nice.
keep it
Sweet.
up.
Thanks, guys.